Hey everybody, how are you today? I'm here to ask your damn questions again! Hey Buster. Alright everybody, are you guys ready for my review and overview of something every single one of you has been waiting for since forever? Since you became fans of this channel, you have been asking me about this, wondering about this. When the hell am I going to review or talk about the entirety of the Friday the 13th movies? Because I'm sure you're dying to know. I know you are. I want to talk about this while more people join and I start answering your completely fucking goddamn useless questions. So last night I watched Friday. Oh, it isn't Friday the 13th anymore. It's Jason Goes to Hell. So that's the 9th movie. I got 2 more movies to watch because then there's Jason X and then there's Jason versus Freddy. I don't really care that much about them, and I've seen that they're pretty fucking bad. But just a quick overview of the series. It's these movies, every single one of them, no exceptions. There isn't a single movie that can be saved from this argument, which is objective, and I will tell you why it's objective and not subjective. They're all fucking terrible, but they're so bad, they're good. And I think the producers knew that. I think when they made the first movie, it was just so bad that they lost all hope, and they realized that they had done probably a bad movie. And then the director, producers, and everybody involved that followed was like, well, it's a staple of the series, we gotta make them bad. I mean, there can be... We're not gonna do a movie that's really fucking good and take it seriously, you know? Because it's not gonna make any sense. The first movie is terrible and the second one's gonna be good? I don't know. So they made... I think... It feels like they made it on purpose. Well, even since the first movie, it feels like they just... Like they made it on purpose. Like they knew. Like we're not gonna take ourselves seriously. This plot... these characters, this acting, this dialogue, this script, it's so bad. I mean, we can't take this seriously. And I applaud that because I've seen a lot of horror movies from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, especially 90s and 2000s. And a lot of them try to take it seriously, and it's so fucking cringe and bad. You know, up to the point where you're like, I mean, come on, this plot... This supernatural, senseless, pointless explanation, this acting, and you're trying to take it seriously? Don't. So the creators of the Friday the 13th franchise were like, nah, we're not going to take it seriously. The movie's going to be just dumb as hell with dumb acting, bad actors, you know, cheesy lines, self-censorship because they had to, otherwise nobody would publish their movies. They wouldn't appear on theaters, you know. And some of the worst and most boring deaths ever. I mean, when you watch those movies, especially the 80s movies, you expect them to be like super gorish and bloody, you know? And yeah, sure, they have their moments, but most of the deaths are so disappointing. It's like Jason just races in the shot, Jason races the machete, and then boom, cut to another scene. Like we didn't get to see anything. We didn't get to see the machete or the knife entering the victim's body and the blood splattering, you know. No, we didn't get to see that. But every now and then we do see something like, whoa. And the shock value was probably great in the 80s. Nowadays you watch it and you laugh. You just laugh it off. Maybe in the 80s it was like a thing, but nowadays it's like, it's just funny, you know. I every single movie I've seen made me laugh a lot. They're comedies. I don't see them as horror movies. I see them as dark humor comedies with some fucking gore and blood and gore in there, you know. The yeah type of gore. The yeah! Cut his head off, you know. Cut him in half. stick it up her ass, yeah. And then there's the sex thing, the nudity. In most movies, it's pretty tamed. There's zero nudity in Part 7. Part 7 is called The New Blood. There's barely any, there's nothing, it's pathetic. Because nudity, and sex scenes are like a staple of the series, but pay attention if you watch the movies and there's only like 2 sex scenes and like 2 nude scenes in the entire movie. It's not like you're gonna watch a lot of nudity, it's barely anything. But I remember, which was like episode 5, I believe? That had like, for the first time ever, had like complete nudity for a long time. But anyway, it's interesting that every cliche, a lot of the cliches from the first movies became like a staple, like Jason's hockey mask, which doesn't appear until episode 3. In the first movie, Jason isn't even the killer. In the second movie, he's just wearing like a bag of some sort, like a farm bag, like a leather bag, and it isn't until the third movie when he picks up the hockey mask. And that became a staple of the series. Another staple is that there's always a female blondie protagonist. It didn't become a thing until Part 4. I've read a lot of trivia from this series, a lot of fucking trivia. You've no idea. And I found out there's well, the first 2 movies had a blondie protagonist. A young, beautiful blondie protagonist. Well, the girl from the first movie is not that pretty, but I think it was just a coincidence because in the third movie, the female protagonist is not blondie, she's a brunette. Sure, she's beautiful, sexy, whatever, but she's not blondie. And I think when that happened, they got some backlash, and they were like, oh, so we didn't notice that the first 2 movies had a blondie protagonist. So Frank Mancuso Jr., who is the executive producer of the series, was like, well, now we gotta make it a thing. Starting episode 4, we gotta bring back that cliche. It's gotta be a blondie protagonist. A final girl, yeah, the final girl needs to be a blondie and beautiful, and never nude. All the other girls in the movies can be nude, but the female protagonist can never be nude. Except the one in Part 5. I mean, she's not nude, never. There are no sex scenes or anything, but it's like she gets wet, and she's wearing like a shirt, a white blouse shirt, and she's not wearing any bra, so you can see her tits, but that doesn't really count as nudity, In all 9 episodes that I've seen so far, the final girl, which is the female lead, blondie, except the third movie, she doesn't have any sex scenes or nude scenes. And it always, from what I read in the trivia, the director is always asking them to do a nude scene, and they always say no. Most of the female protagonists have no nudity because they said no. Because no, you're not paying me enough, or no, it doesn't matter how much you pay me, I don't want to go nude. Interesting, huh? And then another thing about the movies is that a lot of the actors, especially some of the female protagonists, quit acting after the movie. They made that fucking movie, and that was our final movie. Or they made like a couple of more movies, and they were like, no, fuck this, and they retired. Dude, this is... Reading trivia about this series it's more interesting than watching the movies themselves. It's amazing. You can read all the trivia in IMDb. I hate that website because it's super woke, but you can read a lot of the trivia in there. There's a crap ton of trivia on every goddamn movie. Like a lot of trivia, a lot of did you know? Very interesting. And there are all these cliches. Oh man. But yeah, I mean, the self-censorship is also a really interesting cliche, because up until episode 9, all of the movies have been pretty tamed when it comes to gore and killing. Episode 9, Jason Goes to Hell, was the worst by far. They went bonkers. I guess I should say it's the worst movie in the series, but also the best one. It's the best one because it has the more explicit gore and killing and blood, and disgusting horror. And it's got the sexiest girl, the first girl in the movie, in Jason Goes to Hell, episode 9. I found her to be the sexiest of them all. She was my favorite. But in everything else, it's by far the worst fucking movie. It's so fucking bad, it's bad. All the previous episodes are so bad, they're good. But Jason Goes to Hell, it's so bad, it's bad. But it's still good in its own sense, like it's still entertaining to watch. You gotta watch it. So that's my overview. Now I have 40 people watching. Welcome everybody. Now let's start with your goddamn questions then. That's it. I feel like every Q&A, sometimes I've been doing this for a while now, not in every Q&A, but in some of them, like I need to open with something interesting to make time, to waste time, to kill time while people join, because it usually takes like more than 5 minutes for people to join. There's only like 10 guys watching. It's not as bad as Twitch though. In Twitch there's like half an hour, and the first half an hour is just like 5 guys. Well, not anymore for me, thankfully, but yeah, it's bad. Oof. That was an exhausting monologue. I have more to say about this series, but I know most of you don't give a shit, so... I love doing this. That's my favorite topic to cover in the Q&A live streams. Topics that no one gives shit about. Topics that make people leave and get bored. And they're like, where? I clicked on this fucking live stream to get JRPG conversations and topics, and you're talking about Friday the 13th? Dislike and unsubscribe. That's my favorite thing to do in the Q&As. Talking about anything except JRPGs. Am I fan of Lovecraftian horror? Depends if it's well done, or if it's so bad it's good, you know? Yeah, I guess I am. What are your thoughts on PlayStation games coming to all platforms? What do you mean? I mean, yeah, we've seen some of them. Final Fantasy 16, Stellar Blade on PC, you know, but I don't see Stellar Blade coming to Switch or Xbox. Maybe Xbox, maybe. But Switch, it'll never happen. Nintendo has become the biggest fucking prude in the industry, and they want nothing to do with games like that anymore. I get it. You gotta give Nintendo some benefit of the doubt, because we're talking about a company that went hard into censorship throughout the 90s and early 2000s, and then for some reason when the Wii U era came about, like when the Wii came about, you know, it kind of like Nintendo stopped caring, and all of a sudden we started seeing all of these horror games on the Wii, these mature rated games on the Wii. There have been mature rated games on Nintendo consoles before, but it was like you could count them with your hands, with your bare hands, you know. But in the Wii, we started seeing more like House of the Dead, the Resident Evil games, you know, Pandora's Tower. It was like, what is this fucking game doing on a Nintendo console? So eventually they started doing more and more, and allowing more and more games like that. And all of a sudden, during the Switch era, we got this a fucking gazillion. The Switch became the next PS Vita, with a lot of sexy and kinky visual novels. Most of the JRPGs were uncensored on the Switch. They were censored on PlayStation and Xbox, but not on Switch. So Nintendo was like, oh my god, you know, we've become this naughty company, or what the hell? So they were like, no, it's not gonna be the same anymore. We're doing a 180 degrees now, and now we're gonna be worse than PlayStation, censoring everything. Now, not even that. Like, your game is sexy, I don't want it. And the company's like, but dude, my game is progressive. It has these left-wing ideas in it. Oh, it's showing tits, isn't it? Yeah, I don't want it. But dude, you have these 10,000 super sexy visual novels completely uncensored, and these RPGs and these like adventure and puzzle games, and I don't want it. Not anymore. We're done. So what are my thoughts on PlayStation games coming to all platforms? It's sad because they're only gonna get even more censored. That's my answer. Did you hear about Falcom stepping in it by only releasing the physical Switch 2 version of Kai no Kiseki, the card key, then on top of it making it... What? Make your question shorter, Brian. What? That's the longest question I've ever read. Type it again, man. What? Like what? 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 you like monster movies like Godzilla or King Kong? Nah. Oh. I watched some Godzilla when I was little, and King Kong movies. I watched like maybe 2, and I was like, this is so fucking stupid. No. I mean, I respect Godzilla, you know, it's an icon. I like the monster, the creature itself, but it's so bad. You know, I'm not really a fan of that. But I respect them, you know. Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. Oof. Oof. Great gameplay and graphics, you know, and music, but you got some questionable characters in there. What story JRPG do you like standalone or have connection for the next game or prequel? I'm trying to decipher your question. Because it seems like an interesting question. Are you asking me if I prefer standalone stories or like sagas, series, you know? Thoughts on the recent wave of censorship by payment processors? Do you think we'll have a new payment processor or government regulation? I think we're gonna have both. We'll be seeing both. Eventually, there's gonna be more government regulation, and eventually, we're gonna see new payment processors, competition. You know, I'm surprised it's happening, but it's part of the mafia that I've criticized in the past. Like, I don't really feel like talking about that anymore because it's pointless. Most people don't give a shit, sadly. They should care, but they don't. So what's the point? Hey, Oscar, your fucking question is, what do you think of Donkey Kong Bonanza? I haven't played it, but I've seen that it's got like really, really big reviews. Say hello to Oscar, everybody. I mean, you know Oscar, he was in the Holy Grails video. He hadn't appeared in any of my videos for a while, but there he is! Oscar, the guy from my videos. And the guy from Discusión Gamer. Link to our channel in Spanish in the description. You will find a brand new video that I uploaded yesterday where we talk about AI in video games, AI taking over the video game industry. So it was a really interesting discussion video. Check it out. Are you going to get the new Deftones disc? I don't know. I don't buy discs anymore because, you know, you can't really find them anymore for an affordable price here in Mexico. And you gotta, like, import them and buy them on Amazon, plus shipping, plus whatever, you know, it's like, no. But I'm gonna listen to it. I really like the first song they released. You should give the song a second chance. I know you're not really into new Deftones music, but you gotta admit, that's a really fucking badass way to start your song. Have you guys listened to the new song of Deftones, My Mind is a Mountain? Like, say whatever you want about the song, but it starts like dan, 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 dan. That's a really fucking great beginning. A great way to start your song. Shift Up already confirmed to have a Switch 2 dev kit, so Stellar Blade is likely coming to that platform. Well, that's bad news because Nintendo is like a horrible company nowadays. They're all about censorship, so... You saw Hellraiser is getting a game? Oh yeah, I saw that too. I wouldn't call myself a fan of the Hellraiser movies, but I watched the first 3? Was it 3 or 4? You know? They're good. You know, I like the movies. I'm not the biggest fan, but I like the movies, you know? They're cool and interesting. I missed a lot of questions and comments. Sorry guys, I'm just reading through all of it. Okay, so Van's question was exactly about that. The standalone story, or the story still continues in the next games. You know what, man? I think I like standalone stories more. I like some sagas, as you may already know, like, you know, Suikoden Grow Lancer, you know. More like, if it's gonna be a saga, I like the continuity that has been featured within the Suikoden series and the East series, where you can just play any game you want in any order, without having to worry about starting from the beginning. But I prefer standalone stories. Zero Cool, that was precisely part of the episode that I covered, that I did on my podcast on Patreon. Like, I just talked about that a couple of days ago. Fuck, there's... Oh, wait, wow, what's going on today? Probably because of the title. I knew it's gonna work. Like, saying fuck in the title. You gotta censor it? That will attract a lot of people. Welcome, everybody, to Eric Landon RPG Live. Prepare to cringe and unsubscribe. I already talked about that a million times. No offense, Brian, but I've covered that topic a million times already. And you know, you've been here. Like, I'm against this keycard bullshit. You already know that. Hey, Rosland. Okay, Newcomb. Thanks for the super chat. He says, I was considering getting a Switch 2 for Donkey Kong Bonanza, since I like 3D platformers. Super Mario Galaxy is the best. But I watched it streamed. The game looked repetitive, too repetitive, the typical shit modern game. Oh. Well, I don't know anything about it, man, to be honest. Oscar, have you played it? Like, I remember you talking about it and saying that one of the reasons you wanted to buy the Switch 2 was Donkey Kong Bonanza. So have you played it? Can you share your thoughts with us? And I'm glad I'm convincing you to get back to Deftones, but there's only one song so far, and it's a great fucking song, but it doesn't mean the rest of the album, when it's released in August, it's gonna be that great, you know? I still think you should give OMS a chance, just keep the first two songs. You know what the problem with OMS was? Deftones' previous album? Was that the first two? I mean, it should have started with Urantia. Urantia is the third song, and it starts off like really fucking good. That should have been the first song of the album. But the first two songs are kind of like some of the worst in the entire album, in my opinion. So I'd say if you're gonna listen to OMS by Deftones, OMS, skip the first two songs. I mean, they do, if you listen to them, I mean, Genesis eventually grows on you, but you gotta start listening to the album with Urantia. That's gonna hook you up. Oscar says he hasn't played Donkey Kong Bonanza, but he plans to get it soon. Okay. Hopefully it's good, you know. Thank you for your videos this week. You're welcome, Tiro. He says that the 10 RPGs that fired 10 other RPGs seem cater to my collecting habits. That's an interesting series, and I love doing that. It's probably gonna be the last episode, but I love doing that trilogy of videos. JRPGs that ruined other JRPGs. In the sense of, here comes this developer and publisher saying, hey, here's my new game, but along comes Square fucking Enix to crush it with Final Fantasy. You know? Yeah. That was a third video, and I love doing it because I love reading about that. About, oh, when was this game released? August 7, 2015. You know, and then what other JRPGs were released around the same time? Oh, this and this and that. Oh, so now we know why this one failed, you know. Yeah, it was an interesting... I'm glad you guys enjoyed the video. Really interesting video to do. But you guys didn't... Some of you didn't watch the Masterpiece video. I feel like a lot of people missed it for some reason. Like, I don't resent you for not watching the 10 JRPGs everybody loves and I love too, part 2. That was a massive failure. It hurt me, but the Masterpiece video hurt me more. Like, I thought that would be a really interesting topic. It's called 10 JRPGs that were almost a masterpiece. I was really enthusiastic about that video. Go and watch it if you haven't. Have you played the ActRaiser remake? No, did we play it at your house, Oscar? I don't know. I feel like we did. I feel like I played the game for a little bit at Oscar's house, maybe? But anyway, I play the originals. I'm not really a fan of them. I don't hate them or dislike them. I just find them... Especially the first two games... Well, there's only two, right? I find them not hard, but difficult to control and jump, you know? The first one has better controls, but for some reason I just can't get into them. I find the controls kind of weird. Thanks again, Newcomb. You just watched yesterday all of my Rage Quit videos. You missed those videos, very funny. You should watch my latest review from a couple of days ago. You're gonna love it. That was a huge rant. That was a huge fucking rant. I know it's a long video. 18 minutes. That's my longest review so far, now that I think about it. Holy shit. I think my longest video review that I had done before this one was Xenoblade Chronicles 2. That came out like 3 years ago, I believe so. But yeah, the review from 2 days ago, Bear Week Saga, that's now officially my longest review. There was just so much to say about it. Initially it was gonna be a 20-minute long review. I was like, that's too much for a review. So there you go. Watch the video. Maybe it isn't getting recommended, or maybe YouTube didn't send you guys a notification for that review because it's got a lot of swearing. It's probably that. Oscar says we haven't played Act Racer Remake. We played Getsu Fuma Den, I think. Getsu Fuma Den. What? What's that? I don't remember that. Okay, then I haven't played the remake. Maybe I don't know. Getsufumoden? Never heard. Anyway. Petrol, diesel, or electric cars? Thoughts? I don't even have a car. I don't even know how to drive. I stopped buying albums years ago because one song will be great and the rest were awful. So now I buy singles. I haven't bought a single album in many years. I would love to come back to collecting CDs because they're cheaper than video games. But I honestly can't find any of the ones that I would like to collect for like a cheap price. Like, I want to go out there and pay $10 for each, you know. Feels like that's just paying them as if it was brand new. I'd rather just buy them used somewhere. When I was in England and in Canada, there were a lot of thrift and pawn shop. Thrift stores and pawn shops. Thrift is a really hard word to pronounce. Especially if you say it full, like thrift stores. Anyway, you know what I mean. So second-hand shops, you know, and pawn shops, you know, and I loved going to those shops back then when I was living there because you will find a lot of stuff for like a laughable price. But we barely have anything like that here. We do have a lot of pawn shops, but it's always like they don't really sell CDs or video games, you know. Most of them don't. And when you go, they're like updated. Like they know the price of a CD or a video game, and it's not gonna be cheap. It's sad. How can I request you to review a JRPG because I really want your opinion on the Runs series? I'm not sure I could do a review on the Runs series in this fucking website because that's a pretty ecchi hentai-ish series. But I'll see what I can do, man. Do you think P4 remake will be censored? P4 Persona 4? For sure. Persona 3 was censored. What makes you think Persona 4 is not gonna be censored? I'd love to do more Rage Quit videos, but it's YouTube. You know, I mean, yeah. I'd really like you to give Nexamon Extinction a chance someday. It's like if Cthulhu Saves Christmas had a baby with Pokemon. I'm not really into Pokemon type of game, so not sure if I will be able to get into it, but maybe someday I'll give it a chance and I'll become the biggest fan. I don't know. Oh, you watched the video? That's why you watched... Oh, my review from 2 days ago prompted you to watch the Rage Quit videos? Yeah, that was a huge rant at the end. Are you the true, real, legendary master of JRPG of this cruel world? Of course I am. Did you prefer Kefka over Sephiroth as a villain, or Final Fantasy villains in general? Final Fantasy is extremely overrated. I don't care for either of those villains, you know. Ask me about villains of other JRPG franchises, not Final Fantasy. Like, come on. The topic itself is overrated. It's like Kefka versus Sephiroth. That's like Tifa versus Ares. But if you want my thought, if you really want to know, I prefer Kefka. Sephiroth is just a backstreet boy, an emo backstreet boy, in my opinion. And Kefka is a true villain. Completely fucking demented and evil as shit, you know, I like that. Whereas Sephiroth is just mama's boy. No, I haven't played the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters. I've seen them, I've seen how they look, but I haven't played them. I have no interest in that. If you were an evil tyrant, would you be more like Kefka or Kujo? Kujo? You mean Kuja? Do you honestly think I will be like Kuja? The most androgynous villain in the entire history of JRPGs? Or villain isn't... well, the Tales games have... I'd say the Tales games, most of them have these pretty multi-dimensional villains, you know? Like, they aren't one-sided characters like Kefka, for example. And they aren't really bad. What I like about some of the antagonists in the Tales series is precisely that, how they create these characters that you can actually even sympathize with or agree with in some things. Like, I don't know, I know most of you hate Tales of Symphonia 2, but the main antagonist of that game was like, I mean, that's not a bad guy at all. It's just this guy with a different perspective in life. Different views, different beliefs, you know, different goals. And I like that. I mean, one of the reasons why I loved Symphonia 2 was precisely because of this villain, you know. Yeah, but other Tales games have these, like, even if the villain, I mean, some of the villains in the Tales games can be multidimensional and blah, yeah, but they're also boring. Just because your villain, your antagonist is multidimensional and not necessarily evil, doesn't make it interesting. I mean, there are some one-sided, one-dimensional evil characters like Kefka, which are very interesting, like Look Up Light, you know. But others are very, very boring. So the same applies for multi-dimensional characters. They come in all sizes and shapes. They can be good or bad, interesting or boring, you know. I don't have one, Brian. People have often asked me about that, my favorite JRPG villain. I don't have one, man. Dude, you're asking that question to someone who's played a gazillion RPGs. I feel I don't have one anymore. Maybe I used to back in the day, long before I became a YouTuber, which means 11 years ago. I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know. Hey, Quiet Afterglow. He says Sephiroth is lame. Yes, it is. Kuja is the best villain. No, I don't like Kuja either. If you asked me, if you forced me at gunpoint to choose between Kuja and Sephiroth, fucking shoot me. I hate both. Vaughn is a good villain? Oh, Vaughn! Oh, fuck! Tails... Yeah, okay. I know I saw Vaughn and immediately I thought about Final Fantasy 12. And I was like, hey, Vaughn was a great antagonist because he's just the worst fucking character in the game. Okay, Vaughn from Tales of the Abyss. Gotcha. Yeah, that was interesting. You're right. I agree with that. I agree with that. He was an interesting antagonist, but now we've spoiled the entire fucking game. Sorry, people. We have spoiled Tales of the Abyss for you. No, what made you think that Luca Blight was my favorite villain? Not really. If Velvet is the main antagonist, I will take it. There we go! That's a great statement from Yum Yum. I agree with that. You know, I mean, he's making fun of it, but in Tales of Berseria, you kind of start playing for the longest time as the bad guys until you realize they're actually the good guys. And the bad guys, the real bad guys of Tales of Berseria are really fucking bad. When I play that game live, I don't want to get into the topic, but the Tales of Berseria, the bad guys, is everything wrong with today's world, in my opinion. Because it's about a group of people, an organization who's trying to force their beliefs on people, on everybody, and it's about mind control. I mean, play the fucking game. It's about this religious organization, and take away the religion, you know, any fucking organization, you know. That's all I'm gonna say about Tales of Berseria. It makes you feel like you're playing as the bad guys, but then you realize, no, these are the true fucking bad guys, and they're very fucking bad. Well, okay, Sweet says that he's not a fan of mind control twists like Arise, like Tales of Arise. So, I like mind control twists, you know, but sometimes they aren't applied properly. Like, maybe I should do a video called Everything Wrong with Tales of Arise. It wouldn't be an interesting video because there's barely anything wrong with it, in my opinion. It's not a masterpiece. I didn't feature the game in my 10 JRPG that could have been a masterpiece. That fucking game had everything, you know, it should have been there. Yeah, Tales of Arise should have been in that video. Huh. I think Tales of Arise had everything to be a masterpiece, and it just wasn't because the story. I mean, in graphics, it's fucking fantastic. Music is just Motoi Sakuraba, you know, it's a hit or miss in every Tales game. The combat was great, the pacing, the gameplay. I mean, it's a phenomenal game, except the story, it's like... it starts really good, and then it goes... Anyway, so... interesting game. You would like a fat activist as a villain? You're so sick of the amnesiac protagonist cliche. 7 years ago have passed, I believe, or more, since I made a top 10 worst JRPG cliches. It's still relevant, you know, it's not like... it's pointless to do one nowadays. You do any type of... other YouTubers do it, and it's fine for them, but I can't. I do any fucking video with a negative connotation, and the internet goes crazy, and YouTube fucking destroys the video. But even if I wasn't, even if that wasn't the case, I still wouldn't remake that video. I think it's... my thoughts on the cliches that I complained about in that video haven't changed, you know? I charge for that nowadays, Nintendo. Huh. You're basically asking me to do publicity to your game for free, man. Do you think Game Pass is worth it? Or should I just save to buy the game instead? I don't know much about Game Pass because I don't have it. I don't have any Xbox consoles, man. Sorry, I can't help you with that. Maybe somebody in the chat can provide their opinion about it, because I barely know anything about Game Pass. Are there any JRPGs where you were right on board with it until the ending was a total cop-out? Does it need to be specifically a JRPG does it need to be about the ending? Because I've quit a lot of JRPGs in the past, but I was far from reaching the ending. But I was on board with it until something happened and made me quit. Daybreak is a good example of that. But oh, not really. Okay, then Daybreak. But I want to answer the question. Like Blue Dragon. Blue Dragon made that for me. Or wait a second, Brian. Didn't I just release a review, like very recently, about a game like that? I feel like I did. Do you prefer the random dungeons of Persona 3 and 4 or the structured dungeons of Persona 5? For your first question, I prefer the dungeons in Persona 5. Definitely, they are more structured. They feel like actual dungeons, where in Persona 3 and 4, you feel like you're in a labyrinth. I mean, it is supposed to be a labyrinth, especially in Persona 3, But yeah, I prefer the dungeons in Persona 5. I think that was one of the biggest highlights of Persona 5, the dungeon design, which was like vastly different from its predecessors. It was a good thing, in my opinion. Do you like the negotiation system or the shuffle system? I like both. Shuffle is fine, but you do get the same fucking cards again very often. It starts getting tiresome really quickly. So the negotiation system is better. For the shuffle system, I prefer like getting money or items. Persona 3 had it right. It had this whenever you will get a demon, it will be like, oh my god. Like, you get the demon and you already have this demon, so the card has been dismissed. You know what I mean? But whenever you got money or an item or something or experience, that was great. I love the shuffling system in Persona 3. Its only flaw was that whenever you got a card demon, it will, if you had the demon already, it will like disappear. But yeah, nothing can be the negotiation system. It's just, I like Shin Megami Tensei way more than Persona, So I'm always gonna prefer the negotiation system. I like YouTubers that speak their mind and tell how they think it is. That's why I've been watching you for 5 years. I hope you keep it up. Thank you very much, Hugh Dyer. I appreciate that comment. We nowadays live in a world where honesty and speaking your mind and saying things like they are isn't appreciated anymore, especially by corporations like YouTube. But we are a dying breed. And I take pride in being a part of it. Even if it's a dying breed, I'm still a part of it. So I appreciate that kind of feedback, man. Thank you. That's great, Nintendo. Feel free to reach out, send me an email with your thoughts, but if you want me to play your game and review it, I'm gonna have to charge you. Can't do this for free, man. You have now played this Gaia 1 through 6. Okay. The first 3 had a decent story, the last 3 not so much. What are your thoughts? 4... I'm not trying to change your mind on 4, but I think it's the best actually in terms of story. It's just the comedy and the humor in that game. It took me a long time to appreciate. At the beginning I was cringing, to be honest. I was like, this is bad. But then I got used to it, and Valvatores grew on me. His lines, his comebacks, his dialogue, you know, his personality. Same with Fuka. So eventually I just got so used to them, the characters and the humor of that game, that I loved it. And at the end of the game, I was like, man, this is one of the best stories across the entire series. I really liked it. But my thoughts on 5, 6, and 7, I couldn't tell you because I never finished them. And I put like 7 hours maybe in 5, but 6 and 7 I only played the demos. That's how far I got. So no opinion. What's your favorite unique system in a JRPG? Unique battle system? I feel like Julie Falcom is a troll. For months, I've seen her talking about the games that I just reject. The romance in this Gaia 2 was a bizarre love triangle, wasn't it? Wasn't it? I saw that, Nintendo. You retracted your message. He's probably gone and unsubscribed. I don't want to talk about his game for free. It is what it is, man. I'm not a communist. I'm a capitalist. You know what I wanted to do today? And I couldn't. Yet it's thanks to yet another reason why I hate Metacritic so much. I want to take a look at the best JRPGs according to Metacritic. I can't do that anymore because they removed the JRPG term from their dictionary, I guess. You can't do that anymore. You can still type RPG, action RPG, turn-based strategy, but you can no longer select JRPG. You know how you wanna see all the games? If you wanna see like, oh, give me a list with these filters, only first-person shooters and shoot 'em ups. And it shows you, right, the scores from worst to best or best to worst, right? And I did a video last year, a year and a half, called The Worst JRPGs According to Metacritic. And that's how I did it. I just put like JRPG and I included a lot of other filters in there. And it helped a lot into showing me all of them. But now you cannot just put JRPG anymore. Just RPG. And go and see what happens if you just put RPG. It shows you a crap ton of indie RPGs that you've never heard about before. Do that right now if you want to. Go to Metacritic. In the lists section, go to just select RPG. Just that. And it's going to show you a crap ton of RPGs that I've never heard about any of these fucking games. I mean, you would expect to see, okay, what are the best RPGs according to Metacritic? Oh, you will expect to see like Mass Effect, like, I don't know, Chrono Trigger, you know? No, it's a bunch of fucking games that who made what? What the fuck is this? Fuck Metacritic. Yeah, this song is a banger. Love it. I love it. I think it is one of my favorite songs in the game. Ah, thank you, Nintendo. He didn't quit. I'll never unsub. I used to be a channel member, but I changed my bank account info. I'll probably rejoin your channel, honestly. That's great, man. I'm sorry if I was an asshole, but I'm used to people unsubbing for the dumbest reasons you can imagine. There, just because I said this, somebody probably unsubbed right now. You can't blame me. Oh, that's cool, man. I don't really charge much, you know. I'm not like one of those YouTubers that's gonna charge you like hundreds of dollars, you know, just to talk about your game. Don't worry about that. We'll make some kind of deal if you want to. Just make sure your game doesn't have any DEI bullshit or woke nonsense, please. Or any political nonsense, you know, just don't. You know what I like? I'm playing a game right now that I mean this used to be JRPGs for me. When they were about different characters with different beliefs and ideas and exchanging these ideas and then fighting over them, you know, but you never felt like there was an agenda in there. Like the game wasn't trying to say, oh, this type of belief, that's the best one and everything else is fucking wrong. No, JRPGs didn't used to be like that. Or a lot of games, video games didn't used to be like that. They were all about creative, creating these characters with creative discussions and ideologies, you know, and clashing over them, you know. I love that. And nowadays it's just one-sided. I hate that. I just fucking hate that, man. I'm tired of that. From any side. Have you ever done a video on your favorite non-JRPG game on every console? Yes, I have, Brian. Precisely with that title. That was a long time ago. It's called my favorite... Okay, so here's two. I made one called my favorite game on every console. Game, no RPG. And I also did one, my favorite game on every genre. You should definitely watch those videos. They were fun videos to do. Yeah, I play the Wizardry games, some of them, not a fan. The best one that I played though was the PS2 game, because it had a really good story. But at the end of the day, I was like, the gameplay is not for me. Have you tried playing the Persona mobile game? I don't play mobile games. Thank you, Donsk. It's a good video. Really interesting video, right? Really interesting discussion, yeah. Talking about AI in video games and AI taking over the industry. How do you make the name? Well, you guys are talking amongst yourselves. Yeah. Wizardry 8? Wizardry Tale of the Forsaken Land. That's the PS2 game. It's a Japanese game. Because the Wizardry games were initially developed by American studios, and then they gave up, and Japanese developers were like, can I buy the IP? Oh, sure. Yeah. And they have been doing Wizardry games since the PS1 era, I believe. Yeah, to color your name, you have to be a member. It's pretty cheap. You want to become a member, I think it's like $1 or $2 a month. I have it set up for cheap, you know. But it varies depending on the country. You're $2 for Brian, okay. It varies depending on the country, you know. YouTube discriminates depending on the country you're from. It charges you more or less. You avoid gachas, law. You guys, some of you should avoid anything from Nice America. Just don't listen. I have nothing, well, no, I can't say that. I was gonna say that I have nothing against gacha games, but I do have something against them. I think it's just, I don't like the practice. I think it's a bit nasty, to be honest. Just a bit. I don't blame you if you like gacha games and you pay money for them. That's cool, it's your money. But I don't think it's a good system. I think it's a trick, and I think it's unfair. That's just my opinion, though. Are there any other games that have East 1 and 2 bump system? No. Some game one that was there was this really. Wait a second. Yes, Half Minute Hero. It's not quite the same, but if you take a look at the battle system, it's in a sense it is the same. It's funny. Because you got these characters like bumping into the enemies until they kill them. I mean, you're not controlling them, but it's similar, you know? That's the only one that I can think of right now. Imagine there is a Tales of Versus game where you can fight most of the characters of the series. I want to see Velvet versus Milia. That will be an interesting game fight. We did get well, Japan got one. There is a game called precisely Tales of Versus. It's only in Japan. I think it's been fan translated. It's exclusive to the PSP. It's not that great of a game, to be honest. Kind of tried to copy Super Smash Bros. A little bit, just a little bit. It's not a straight up ripoff or clone, but I don't know, I didn't quite enjoy it that much. I'm gonna stream that game one day, preferably on Twitch. I'll do a stream of Tales of Versus so you guys can see it. You know, it's an interesting game, but it's not great. But you know what? I would love, you know, something more 2D one screen without jumping around between platforms, you know, with the Tails characters. That would be great. Yeah, I played Dual Orb 2 live here on YouTube about a year ago, probably less. And then I ranted about it in another video called 10 Great JRPGs with a Fatal Flaw Part 2. That's the video where I last talked about Dual Orb 2. But I also played it live here on YouTube. What's my favorite fan translation you've played lately on your Twitch that wasn't a Fire Emblem hack? On Twitch? Okay, my favorite fan translation so far has been Berwick Saga, a game that I reviewed a couple of days ago. Here on YouTube. I mean, I've played a lot of good translations, but that's my favorite so far. It's really fucking good. But a translation that I didn't play Berwick Saga live on Twitch. It was supposed to be a surprise. I guess I will say I would probably go with, man, fuck. Like, I really want to say Fate Extra Triple C so bad, but I've noticed some things that I don't think are right. I need to look into it. It appears to be really faithful and really well done, but I've also noticed some Americanized jokes that I'm pretty sure were, I mean, the fans who did the translation took some liberties, you know, and I'm not in favor of that. So I'm not sure. Let me finish the game before I can tell you. With the best translation that I played live on Twitch, I can't decide right now for some reason. Maybe Luminos Arc 3 seemed to be really good. I don't know. It's a really specific question. Orange name is Odo from YouTube. What's that? Orange name? You want a Tales of Versus with the style of Blade Arcus. Oh, me too. Count me in, man. Shut up and take my money. I want that too. Blade Arcus is a great fucking fighting game. What is your favorite in-game universe outside of JRPGs? Super Mario World. Now let me think about it. Outside of JRPGs? I'm going through my favorite non-RPG games in my head right now, so give me a moment. And it will be cheating to say, well, Persona 4 Arena! They're fighting games, not RPGs. But the universe is based on a JRPG. So never mind that. I was just kidding. I really like the universe in the Little Nightmares games. The first duology. I haven't played the third one. Is it out yet? Is Little Nightmares 3 out yet? Anyway, so the first two games, I think the universe is like really fucking interesting because you know nothing about it when you start the game. And then little by little, as you advance and make progress, it starts unraveling before you. And by the end of the first game, you're like, oh my god, this universe is very fucked up, if it is a universe at all. And then you play the second game, it's even more fucked up. So, Little Nightmares 3 in October. Gotcha. Okay, so the first two games are excellent. The first game is a masterpiece. The first game is one of my 5 favorite video game, non-RPG games of all time. That's right. I've never done that video. Okay? Maybe I will one day, my top 10 favorite non-RPG games ever. But if I ever do that video, Little Nightmares is gonna be in the top 5. I like it that much. I also like the universe in well, this is sort of a the universe in this game is a bit cliche, but I like it a lot. It's a game called Enslaved: Odyssey to the West. Came out on PS3 and Xbox 360. That's a really good universe. It's not an original universe. We've seen it before. Post-apocalyptic. Humans are extinct. Only robots remain. Yeah, I've seen it before, but for some reason I found it very interesting, with very interesting lore. I like it. MS Saga: A New Dawn. I have covered it before, just a few times, because I never finished it. But I have talked about it in a few top 10s. I don't remember when was the last time I talked about it though. So the reason why those games, I mean, Yum says there are too many fighting games like Aquapazza, where the characters are from visual novel games. They should push those games to mainstream. They can't, because visual novels are not mainstream, first and foremost. And second, because most of the characters in those games are from games that are exclusive to Japan. Like, I don't exactly disagree with you, but it's very easy to understand why they aren't mainstream. But they are more like, I wouldn't call them underrated, more like obscure. Have you played Limbo and Inside? Huge fan, yeah. Inside I've beaten twice. Limbo I loved it, I beat it once, I tried beating it twice, but it drove me nuts, so I rage quit on Limbo on my second playthrough of Limbo. I love the game though. But yeah, I love those fucking games. I mean, those served as the inspiration for Little Nightmares, after all. Well, it's been an hour and only Newcomb has done super chats. Were you kidding me? What do you think, I'm here to answer your questions for free? To hang out for free? You gotta be shitting me, man. I'm leaving. Yeah, I've heard that MS Saga: A New Dawn is like super hardcore. You beat it? I never got to the hard part. I've only played the game for a few hours though. Enslaved is a bit janky when it comes to controls, but the gameplay and story loved it. Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah, Enslaved is a game that, while not a JRPG, it could have been that video I did. It's a game that could have been a masterpiece, but it's not. It isn't quite there. It had some control issues and camera issues, you know. I agree with that. That game, I fucking loved it, but it pissed the shit out of me so bad sometimes. Like, come on. And most of the time, it wasn't my fault. It was some fucking view or gameplay mechanic or movement or platforming that was like poorly designed. I know that. I can make a point about that. What's the closest you've seen a game come to having what you will regard as the most well put together? Yes, I know you buddy, no Chrono Cross answer allowed. Then Valkyrie Profile 2. To answer your question, I will easily go down my favorites list. If no Valkyrie Profile allowed, then Grow Lancer 5. If no Grow Lancer games allowed, then Suikoden 5. If no Suikoden games allowed, then Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. I could go on, you get the idea. Artonelico, are you asking me if I think Artonelico got what it deserved? Because it's dead? I don't think it got what it deserved. I think it should, no, a reboot or anything will be destroyed by Nis America. And they have the right, no, Koei Tecmo has the rights to the series. Yeah, I think so. Well, I don't know. I think Nis America has the rights to the first 3 games, to the name Artonelico, whereas Koei Tecmo has the rights for No Search, the name No Search, you know? So, I don't know what will happen, but if it came back under Nis America, do you really want that? Thank you, Hooflong. Thank you very much for the super chat. Keeping the streams alive, supporting the channel, just so I can go and make more reviews about games that no one care about. No, you guys care about. You've shown it before. I made an analysis and I'm like, there's no point in reviewing popular games. No, they fail. But you guys like the obscure shit, and I appreciate that. Like every now and then, I still like doing reviews of popular JRPGs or well-known. Most of you are not gonna watch that because you've seen me talking about those games a million times. I get it. But if I put out the obscure JRPG that no one talks about, and I made a review about that, and like I see most of you prefer that, you know. I'm okay with that. Like I'm cool with that, you know. I like that. Like yeah, it hurts. There wasn't that much appreciation for my East Origin review, or my Yakuza RPGs review, or Suikoden 3 review, but fucking Exist Archive has 10,000 views, man, for no reason. That was great. Trinity Trigger got like 9,000 views. I appreciate that, guys. I mean, I can't take away coverage of JRPGs like Suikoden or Chrono Cross, Final Fantasy, you know. I'll always come back to those, but since last year, I've been trying to focus my entire channel on obscure games, hidden gems, forgotten games, underrated games, fan translations, you know. And the fact that, you know, the videos about that get a little bit more views than the others, it's appreciated. It shows me that I've been achieving my goal to refocus most of this channel content on that. You know, I appreciate that. But still, you should also watch reviews about JRPGs like Astral Chain. Like if I feel like reviewing Suikoden 5, well, you're not gonna watch it because it's a Suikoden game I've covered to death? Come on, guys, watch it. But yeah, I like that most of you give preference to the obscure shit. I like that, thank you. Hey, Jerry. Wait, you appreciate the comprehensive answer? Of what? I missed that. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. This is a great fucking song. What would you like to see return that was shelved in the NES era? Nothing. Oh, hey, Omar. What's up, man? Says I wanted to send you a link of some home remedies for tinnitus. My wife has it for over a decade. Has had it for over a decade. And the main thing she uses is ginkgo biloba, ginseng, and grapes. Oh, yeah. Sure, bring it on. Like, I know my cousin, he's not a blood cousin, you know, but my mom's best friend's son, who is a dentist, has had tinnitus for almost like a decade too. And I talked to him recently, and he provided me with a lot of information and tips and tricks, you know, which is greatly appreciated. I use a lot of white noise, so I don't really get to hear the tinnitus in my ear until I go to bed. But even when I go to bed, you know, I use white noise to sleep. So, like, I'm already coexisting with my tinnitus, but I don't really suffer it because most of the day I have like some kind of white noise. Like, I live in a really noisy area. This neighborhood, there's a lot of fucking dogs. If you've seen my Let's Plays, I mean, you've probably seen me complaining about them. It's a lot of dogs. And there's a construction, you know, 2 blocks away from here, you know, every day. They're building these huge, like 1 million houses, you know. So, yeah, I use white noise. Brown noise. I also use brown noise, you know. The only thing I don't like is black noise. Black noise it hurts your ears. But white noise and brown noise is fine, you know, I like it. But yeah, Omar, anything you can... I don't trust many doctors and mechanics and prefer to fix it myself. I trust doctors depending on the kind of doctor. I mean, it's kind of easy to see who's lying to you and who's trying to make you buy their products or the medicine they are associated with. You know, I have rosacea, which I'm sure you've noticed in some of my live streams or videos. And the first time I visited a dermatologist, I never felt she was like truthful to me. She gave me this expensive treatment, and it worked for a while, but after a while, you know, it didn't work anymore. And then I visited a second dermatologist, and she was like my goddess. Like, she saved me. She also, I mean, what I didn't like about her was like that she provided, I mean, she gave me these fucking 10,000 creams and medicine. I was like, really? But I was like, you just gotta try all of this and stick to what works for you. And I did that, and it worked fucking wonders. The ones that I'm using are wonderful, you know. So, sometimes you go to doctors, and they tell you, like, they don't know what's wrong with you. They're like, okay, it could be this, it could be this, it could be this, it could be that. So we're gonna have to try this, and that, and see what works. To experiment. So I can't blame them for that, especially because my sister herself is a doctor. She doesn't see any, I mean, she doesn't have like a place you can go to. She's more into the research department. She's a doctor, yes, but she's a researcher. That's what she does for a living. But she treats patients in hospitals, you know. She doesn't have a, like, what do you call this in English? Like a doctor's place, you know, like an office, you know. She doesn't have that, you know. But I know a lot about this process and about tending to patients and the different points of view and the perspective. Having a doctor in your family broadens your horizons, you know. A lot of people are really harsh on doctors. But if you have doctors in your family... Clinic, thank you. Thank you very much, clinic. So she doesn't have a clinic. So having doctors in your family... My uncle is a doctor, you know, also. There's a lot of doctors in my family, actually. So it changes your perspective, you know. I've never been harsh on doctors because now I know... Like, I've known for years, for decades, what it's like, you know, kind of what it's like. But yeah, you can't deny that there's a lot of doctors who are not interested in your health. They're only interested in your money, you know, and for you to buy their medicine or their product, you know, it's kind of pathetic. But there's a lot of good doctors out there who are honest and will give you tell you the truth. The doctor I visited for my tinnitus, I didn't quite feel she was honest with me, but I didn't also feel she was dishonest. She was more like, oh, okay, I explained everything to her, and she was like, okay, it could be this, it could be this, it could be this, it could be that, and I was like, okay, So what are you gonna give me? Oh, she gave me some notes, you know, like this, and that. And I was like, right now, I don't have any money for that right now. So instead I talked to my cousin, and he was like, nope, she's being nice, actually, but it's probably bullshit. Anyway, thank you, Yum Yum, for the super chat. I appreciate it. I emulated most of the PSP games on your modded Switch Lite. They should have released them officially on the Switch, especially Jeanne d'Arc, Planet, etc. Yeah, man, I feel like a lot of these JRPGs could benefit a lot from being on Switch, just being there. We don't need them, dear companies. We don't need them remastered. We don't need them retranslated or censored. Just fucking put them there with the minimum effort. What people care about the most is not remastered. It's just availability. That's what people want, right? Am I wrong or what? What do you guys think? Like, we don't want these fucking remasters with like this feature and this censorship and shit. No, just put the fucking game in there. That's it. That's all. Is that too much to ask? No, instead they gotta change everything, like ruin the graphics, destroy the translation, censor this, censor that, you know. The one thing I appreciate is quality of life features. I will never be resentful to that and criticize that. Like fast forward, fast travel, maybe save states, you know, great, give me that, but forget about everything else. Have you guys played Jeanne d'Arc on PS5 or PS4? All Sony did was upscale the graphics and add save states and fast forward, and that's it. That's all we need. We don't need your remasters. We just put the fucking game on Switch. Dear Vanillaware. Dear Vanillaware. Put your fucking games on Steam and Switch, please. Thank you. No remaster. Don't change anything. Nothing. I'm asking you for the minimum effort possible. Put the fucking game in there. That's all you gotta do. That's it. Don't rework anything. Or re-enhance this. Or rework the script. No. Just put the fucking game in there. How hard is that? Is it really that hard to put Odin's Sphere on Switch? Is it? Yeah, Serge. I know that. I think we talked about this before, about rosacea. Not sorry about the rant. I hate modern remasters and shit, you know. What are some cool places in Mexico to visit? Hidden gem type of places. I haven't visited much, to be honest. I don't do a lot of traveling in my own country, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. Sorry. That's pretty lame, I know. But everyone loves the PSP. You goddamn right. Yeah, well, you guys already know that I'm shadow banned on YouTube, so why is it surprising that you didn't get a notification? You should know that by now, that YouTube does not recommend my content even to my own viewers anymore. You gotta find it. Is Mexico City hard to avoid? Yeah, I will say yes. Yes, definitely. Go anywhere else. Anywhere else in Mexico. Do not visit Mexico City. It's horrible. Too many fucking people. A lot of crime. Too many fucking liberals. Visiting Mexico City is almost as bad as visiting Los Angeles. Just don't. Stay away from there. Exactly, George. Thank you. Right? Right? We just need the games, not the remasters or remix. And we don't need Trails in the Sky remake. All we need is just put the game in there. Put it on Switch. Sell it for $20. Sell it for $40. People are gonna pay it anyway. I wouldn't, you know, but most people are gonna buy it anyway. You know, it doesn't need to be remade or remastered or altered or retranslated or fuck out of here. No, put the game in there. That's it. I'm done with that rant. I always rant about that. You know me. Once you guys start me with modern remasters or remakes, don't start me up. I've never been to Playa del Carmen. I don't go to the beach. Didn't you just say you have rosacea? And you go there? I don't go to the beach. I can't go to the beach. It will fucking kill me to go. I love the ocean, you know, staring at it. I don't like going inside of it like most people. No, nothing wrong with that. Before you misunderstand. Oh, he hates the beach. He's a beach hater. Let's go to Reddit and say Eric Landon RPG hates the beach now. I can't go. I have rosacea. Going there and exposing my face to the sun will fucking destroy me. Do you have any plans to stream your Q&A simultaneously on YouTube and Twitch? No. Not really. You guys are gonna receive a very pleasant surprise tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow evening. I don't know. I got people from all over the world here. I don't know. Tomorrow. Hell, even saying tomorrow is wrong. It's already tomorrow for some viewers. Isn't it? Jesus. Well, stay tuned for a surprise that will happen soon. I made a video about that, Eliezer. Nobody watched it because I criticized, probably because I criticized Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And number one was a game that no one has ever played, apparently. Watch the video. Thank you, Red Miller, for becoming a member. Imagine all the East games and those old Legend of Heroes games from the PSP ported to the Switch. Huh. No, don't, Nisa, no. What's wrong with you, Yum Yum? Not Nisa. Don't mention Miss America to me. Are you going to bring the dogs to your house? No. Why will I do that? Why? That sounds like something Americans will do to their own tourists, Omar. That's so funny, man. I mean, sorry if my comment is offensive, but that sounds like Americans will do to their own people, considering how things are right now. I couldn't help myself, I'm sorry. No offense to anybody. Jesus Christ. Exactly, Serge. Oh my god. You never know what you're gonna get when you order food. I mean, sometimes people spit on it just even without knowing you because they're having a bad day. When I worked at Kentucky Fried Chicken 20 years ago, exactly 20 years ago, No, not exactly. Almost 20 years ago. I worked at Kentucky Fried Chicken from September to November of 2005. And I clearly remember the cook was having a bad day. He was having a bad day. And one of the chicken pieces fell to the floor and rolled over. You know, that was like, that's going into the trash bin, right? No, he didn't give a shit. He was like, I don't give a fuck. Some fucking douchebag's gonna eat this chicken piece and vomit and get sick. I don't care. Fuck it. And he put it there. And the piece got sold. Somebody bought it and ate it. You know, so sometimes people spit on food or do shit like that. Yeah. Not just because they dislike you, but because they're assholes. Because they're having a bad day. You've only had good experiences when visiting other countries. Just be respectful. It's not hard. Nowadays it is hard when people are trying to shove their political beliefs on you. It's kind of hard to be respectful. Yeah. Nah, but yeah, I mean, all you gotta do is just be normal. You know, it's just, it's a business, right? I mean, if I had the store, let's pretend I still have my store, my retro store. And the gayest transsexual, trisexual, non-binary motherfucker appears, you know, and buys a game. You know what I will do? Nothing, you know, to me, that's just another customer. Like, I wouldn't engage in a conversation with this person, you know, but if that guy, that individual shows up, you know, and buys a game from me, exactly, you don't talk about politics, you know, it's just like, hey, what are you looking for? Okay, how much is that Pokemon game, you know? Oh, it's like $5, you know? You wish! Fucking Pokemon games are super expensive. So that's $50. Okay, would you take 45? Sure. That's it. We exchange money. Thanks. You're welcome. That's it. That's all you gotta do. No bullshit, right? And when you're selling food, the same. It's not like, oh, that guy looks like he's a Trump. He has a MAGA hat. A MAGA hat. I mean, why would you spit on their food? Just don't. That's so people don't do that, you know, especially in the USA or Canada. Like, I couldn't resist. Oh, you meant Exceed Games. Okay, Yum. Thanks for clarifying. You meant Exceed Games, not Nisa. Oh well. You got me, man. You didn't do it on purpose, I know, but as if Exceed Games was any better. Okay, it is better. It's not as bad as it's bad, but it's not as bad as Nice America. Exceed is owned by Marvelous, which is just fucking trash nowadays, man. Oh no! It's like saying, oh, I didn't mean Atlus West. I meant Square Enix USA. I'm sorry, you made my day. No one's laughing about this except me, I know that. It's an inside joke. And most of you are like, what is he laughing about, you know? Oh, man. Changing the subject! Are you getting the Switch too? No. No. Oh, man. Yeah, Exceed Game has the rights. Yum. But Exceed Games sold the Trails in the Sky trilogy translation to Gung Ho. That's why Gung Ho is publishing Trails in the Sky remake, not Nice America or Exceed Games. Which is weird, right? I mean, you will think they will do it, but no. As far as I'm concerned, Exceed Games, which is owned by Marvelous, sold the rights to Gung Ho. That's why Gung-Ho is publishing the Trails in the Sky remake. Not Exceed or Nice America. Thankfully. Mexico was a blast to go to. Okay. You experienced nothing but kind people. You were lucky. We got everything here. You can find the worst type of assholes out there and the nicest people around. This is like any other country out there. There's no difference. You know, people think Mexico, yeah, Mexico is a nice place to... No, it's the same. You know, you're gonna find, I mean, if you're lucky, you'll be like, you'll get the JRPG Queen experience. But if you're not, I mean, I've met a lot of people who complained about going to Mexico. They hate it, you know. It's just, it depends on the kind of people you encounter, you know. It may vary. There's a lot of, there's everything, every type of human being you can imagine in this country. That's an interesting experience. You got talked to from a manager once because an employee asked me a question and did not like my answer. After reviewing the video footage, he apologized to you? What? Now I'm curious, what happened? What the hell happened, man? Us Canadians are really the best behaved, especially French Canadians, says Rosland. Oh, sure. I can only speak for myself. I'm not an asshole. When you just meet me, you know, I'm not this type of asshole. But sometimes I may wear this face, like, you know, when I walk down, I have a serious face, you know, like I'm angry. But well, you already know I can be an asshole too. Thank you, Maeve13. Yeah, it's a really cool shirt from Fire Emblem Three Houses. It's a meme. It's basically a meme t-shirt. That's why I like it a lot. I love Edelgard. I respectfully refuse to answer that question, Yum Yum. Because that's gonna turn into a different topic. Somebody's gonna bring up a specific movie and I don't want to talk about it. So I haven't seen it and I will never see it. And now I'm the dumbass who fell for it and brought the topic on. Never mind. So let's talk about something else. Any RPG you were looking forward to? No, none. I don't look forward to any RPGs anymore. You're of Mexican descent, so you have the same scowl when I walk around. Not all Mexicans walk around like this. What are you talking about? You know, just because I'm Mexican doesn't mean I mean, what? Come on. But this scowl? Yeah, I have it because, I don't know. It's how my face is, you know. I still owe you that. I still haven't seen Blood, the Last Vampire movie, man. I owe you that. I'm working on it. I'm also working on the Shintaro Khan movies. You know, I've been a fan of Paranoia Agent for many, many years, and I never watched the guy's movies. You know? But I did. I've watched 3 so far. I have yet to watch the other 2 or 3, you know? Eventually I'll get to Blood, the Last Vampire, don't worry. Are there any games from the NES that you would like to see a new game released? No, not a single one. I don't want anything released. I want the video game industry to die. You just finished my Holy Grail video, and it baffles you how expensive some games got over the years. Yeah, man. Some of them have been like quite pricey for a long time, you know, but others weren't, like Kudelka. What the hell happened there, man? What happened to Valkyrie Profile, Suikoden 2 being the Holy Grails? And then all of a sudden, Persona 1 and 2 go insane. And Kudelka. That's crazy, man. It's crazy. It was an interesting video to do. And because of the research. Like seeing how, I mean, there were a lot of surprises that they surprised me just as they surprised you. That Yuan Sword game on PS4? That's crazy. I've had that game for like 5 years. It was a gift from a fan from back then. She sent the gift like, hey, here's this unknown game from PlayAsia that I found for dirt cheap. Oh, okay, thanks. You know, and now it's $100 game that's rare, expensive. Like, what? Hello, can you guys see me? Okay, I can see this chat. Oh, I kind of like froze for me for like a fraction of a second. We're good, right? Okay, there we go. We're good. Do you think Mexico is dealing the whole tariff situation properly? I don't think any country is dealing with that properly, man. Are there any developers you still have hope in? That's my answer. My expression speaks volumes, I believe. Have you seen The Hateful Eight by Quentin Tarantino? Yes, I have. Great movie. I'm your favorite Mexican? You watch Oscar? You watch Oscar, Queen? That's great. 84 walls. And that is exactly the reason why my video failed, Maeve. Thoughts on Fate Samurai Remnant? I only played the demo, man. I remember liking it, but I wasn't impressed. But it was just a really short demo. It's like a 45-minute long demo. Not much to really give you my opinion. That's why I've never covered the game, you know. I don't feel like 45 minutes is enough to judge an RPG. It's enough to judge maybe an NES game, definitely, or an SNES game, but like a modern RPG, 45 minutes? That's like 1% of its total playtime, right? 10% maybe. Yeah, so I'll get to it. It's on Switch, so hopefully I can emulate it one day. Fate Samurai Remnant. Magnificent Seven is not by Quentin Tarantino. No. Like Quentin Tarantino, I like his movies a lot. I like his take on things, on certain things, you know, but he's weird. Quentin Tarantino is a weird guy. Sometimes he can say the most based things ever, and sometimes he can say the exact opposite. You know, like hard to. Never mind. Do you think game key cards will never increase its value over time? Nah. Dude, that's gonna be fucking weird, you know, seeing people collecting game cards, key cards, and reselling them for high prices. Like, if that happens, it's gonna be really awkward and bizarre. Pan's Labyrinth. That's a great movie, you're right. You don't get out of some tutorials in 45 minutes. That's true. That's true. 2 hours later and you're still in tutorial. The prologue. You should say that to him, Yum Yum. Go to... He reads the comments. I don't read the comments. He does. He reads the comments on his videos. And our videos. So you should go and tell him that. There. Thanks, Was. One on PS1 tutorial. Yeah, this tutorial situation has been going on since the PS2 era. There's a lot of, I mean, it's hard to find one from the PS2 era. It's mostly PS3 era and afterwards, PSP era, when developers started treating gamers like idiots. You know? Well, you kinda do need tutorials for a game like Night in the Nightmare. It's impossible. I mean, you'd need it. But like Fire Emblem, don't give me a tutorial, please. Come on, a Fire Emblem game. But yeah, if you're gonna play something like Resonance of Fate, like you better explain the fucking game to me. Is Ubisoft still alive? Hopefully not. I think yeah, they are. So I think a Chinese company bought them. I'm glad the conversation is now all about Quentin Tarantino. Pretty divisive guy. Like I said, you know, sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, I agree with this guy, and sometimes I'm like, fuck this guy. Yeah, it's Tarantino. Most people are at least fans of one of his movies. None of his movies are in my top 10, you know. Maybe top 20, definitely. My favorite Tarantino movie, Inglourious Bastards, Jackie Brown, and Reservoir Dogs. That's my top 3 Tarantino movies. But top 10 favorite movies of all time? I don't think so. Not a single Tarantino movie's in my top 10. Like I said, top 20, yes. Top 10, I don't think so. Within my top 10, you will probably find... Well, my number 1 is The Thin Red Line. Always, forever. The Thin Red Line. Thin Red Line. But then, after that, it goes, like, random. Like, I don't know which would be number 2 or number 3. Like, I'm a big fan of Alien. First movie, the first Alien movie. The first 2 Predator films. Fight Club. Fight Club will definitely be my top 5. Fight Club. Damn. There's so many good movies, right? No, Fifth Element? Not even top 50. I don't think it's a bad movie. I just don't think it's a great... I'm indifferent to The Fifth Element, to be honest. If we're gonna talk about Bruce Willis movies, I prefer 12 Monkeys. That's not in my top 10, but it's a great movie. I love it. That's probably my favorite Bruce Willis movie. I've become a big fan of Perfect Blue nowadays, but let's not include animated films, otherwise we're gonna open Pandora's box here, and then everything goes, right? So no, strictly live action movies. Lord of the Rings, I like the Lord of the Rings, the trilogy. I watched it, but I didn't become a big fan. I was like, it's good, I like it, you know, but that's as far as I go with the Lord of the Rings. I've seen what about Virus? Has anybody seen Virus? That's a great movie. Jamie Lee Curtis hated the movie. I hate Jamie Lee Curtis, you know, I can't stand her. But back in the day, she used to be kind of cool. She hated the fucking movie. But I don't care, I love Virus, the movie. Event Horizon, that's a great movie. That director should stick to those types of movies. He ruined Mortal Kombat, he ruined Resident Evil, but Event Horizon, it's a great fucking movie. I love it. I like Predators, you know, the plural movie with Adrian Brody. I talked about this a few weeks ago. I feel like Adrian Brody was miscast, but, you know, I think it's a good movie. Not as good as the first two, though. Alien, just the first movies, you know. First trilogy. The original Alien trilogy is fantastic. Then it went off the rails. Resurrection was kind of like... And then Prometheus and Covenant were like okay at best, you know. 7 is only great because of the ending. Take the ending away from 7 and it's just your average 90s thriller. You know, I don't see anything special about 7 without the ending. The ending is the only thing that makes you like, oh, this is fucked up. You know, but take away the ending is, That's right, Rosland. That's why I fucking hate her. Exactly, Serge. Yeah, exactly. The Sixth Sense, same. Take away the plot twist and it's like okay at best, you know. Actually, the Sixth Sense is I'd like to say it's a very boring movie. Very boring. But the plot twist, right? It's exactly what makes it special. What else is in my top 10 favorite movies of all time? The Crow. The original The Crow movie. I remember showing my DVD collection a while back. That was like a couple of months ago, right? Yeah. Have a bunch of them here. Cube. Have you guys seen Cube? The original Cube. That's a Canadian film. Just the first movie. The others are like, no. That movie should never had a sequels. But that's a great fucking movie. Cube. Watch that. Cube is fantastic. I like some Coen Brothers movies when they were cool. I like No Country for Old Men, The Big Lebowski. What was that Jeff Bridges and Matt Damon movie? That was alright, you know, but I'm not really a big fan. The music stopped. Oh, it's repeating the playlist. Never mind. M. Night Shyamalan movies are boring. Yes. My favorite movie from that guy is Split. With James McAvoy. He has like 7 personalities. That's a great fucking movie, man. But yeah, other Shyamalan movies like the Joaquin Phoenix movie, that was boring. The Paul Giamatti movie about the siren. Oh my god, I fell asleep. Signs. That Signs is... I was like... Not a bad movie, you know, but it's... No. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Shyamalan, but... Split... You're welcome, Athlon. Did you watch the third one after Split? No, just Split. There's 3 movies? I only watched the first movie, the one, you know, with James McAvoy, yeah. The Gorge? Oh, Final Fantasy The Spirits Within. Yeah. It's a really boring movie. It's one of the most boring animated movies I've ever made. Split is a sequel to Unbreakable and then Glass. Oh, gotcha. Yeah. You're right about that. But no, I really couldn't care about Unbreakable and Glass. I'm sticking with Split. But maybe one day. Paul Thomas Anderson movies, you know? Magnolia. The Master. There Will Be Blood. The movies are a bit boring too, but you know, but they have these performances that are like supreme. You know. The Shining. The Shining is great. Stephen King hates it, but I don't care. I love the movie. I fucking love The Shining. Doctor Sleep I never watched. Oculus? I watched a movie called Circle. No, wait. Yeah, I think it's called Circle. It kind of is a bunch of people trapped in a dark space, and they form a circle, and they can't move because if they move, I mean, they can like they move their arms, you know, but if they walk behind or take a few steps, they die. And there's this sphere in the middle that kills them instantly. When they, I mean, it seems random at first, but it goes on how you react. I mean, that's a great movie, man. And then the ending is kind of weird, like, oh, he was this. Oh, really? Okay. I think the name of the movie is Circle, but I could be wrong. I've watched that movie twice. That's a really good movie. Taxi Driver. Some Scorsese movies, you know. I'm a big fan of some Scorsese movies. Bringing Out the Dead with Nicolas Cage. That's no one's Martin Scorsese's favorite movie except me. That's my favorite Scorsese movie. Taxi Driver is a close second, but fucking Bringing Out the Dead with Nicolas Cage and Patricia Arquette. That's a great fucking movie. Love it. But yeah, other Scorsese movie. I love the Departed. Great movie, The Departed, man. Great, love it. But then there's the gazillion Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci movies, right? By Scorsese, like there's like a million of those. Like Goodfellas is okay, I guess, you know. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I think it was alright. Casino, it's better. It's a bit more entertaining. Better performances. I like it, but nah. Raging Bull. Ready Player One. Okay. I've never seen Ready Player One. See No Evil. Never seen it. Godfather 1 and 2, those are Francis Ford Coppola movies. I think they're very overrated, to be honest. The Godfather movies. They're good. And I can see why they are a big deal, but not the biggest fan. Jurassic Park is a good movie. The first trilogy, the first 3 Jurassic Park movies are good. Everything after that is trash. With a capital T, to be honest. But the first 3 Jurassic Park movies, amazing. All 3. Even the third one with a shitty ending, you know, I love it. Total Recall, yeah, great fucking Schwarzenegger movies, man. Some of them. Terminator the first one, great movie. Dark City, amazing fucking movie. By the same director, Alex Proyas of The Crow. Dark City, man, amazing movie. Terminator 2 is a bit overrated for my taste. I like it, but I prefer the first one. Terminator 3, though. It's not a bad movie, but it's not a good movie. When do we talk waifus? Well, maybe if there's a super chat. A new super chat. One of the last super chats. And we can talk about waifus. Maybe. But until that happens, we will continue talking about movies. About any topic that has nothing to do with JRPGs. How about that? Blade Runner, amazing. Both movies, even the last one with Ryan Gosling, great movie. Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. That was an okay movie at best, but the next one Guy Ritchie did, Snatch. Snatch is probably my top 10 favorite movies of all time. Snatch, I love it. One of the very few movies where Jason Statham isn't a Bruce Willis ripoff. Snatch, great movie, I love it. Ghost, Creed. Never seen it. Crank? Are there any horror films that take place in the distant future with a cyberpunk theme? But Blade Runner isn't a horror movie. Cyberpunk? I mean, there's gotta be one, right? There's gotta be a bunch of them. I can't think of one right now. Oh, that's just Ghost? That's the name of the movie? Just Ghost? Ghost? With like Demi Moore? And that bitch Whoopi Goldberg? Fuck that. I hate Whoopi Goldberg. Favorite movie genre? No preference, to be honest. I don't have a favorite movie genre. Crank? I've never seen Crank. Crank? People are too harsh on Jurassic Park 3. I like it. I'm not like, wow, amazing, but I like it. It's entertaining to watch. Ever seen Brazil? No, I would love to see Brazil. Fuck, I'm gonna watch it today. I've never seen it. Oh, wait a second. This is the Jonathan Pryce. Oh, yeah, I've seen this. Yeah. I've seen this movie. Terry Gilliam, yeah. I'm gonna watch it again. Thanks for reminding me. Thank you, Nemo Propaganda. Appreciate that. The Count of Monte Cristo, 2002 movie. With Jim Caviezel, I've seen it. That's a good movie. Killing Gunther? Never seen it. Alright, guys. I only have a few more minutes left. Dreamscape. I haven't seen it. Nope. Dreamscape. Never seen it. Lawrence of Arabia, 1962. No. Every time I see Lawrence of Arabia, I think of Full Metal Jacket. I love Full Metal Jacket. It's my favorite Stanley Kubrick movie. I think Full Metal Jacket is probably also in my top 10 favorite movies of all time. Now that I think about it. Full Metal Jacket. Love it. I love that initial monologue, man. I fucking love it. Joker? The first movie. Strictly the first movie. Let's pretend Joker was just one movie. And yes, I like it. Zodiac? It's alright. It's an alright movie. I hate Saving Private Ryan. I'm a Thin Red Line fan, so of course I gotta hate Saving Private Ryan. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Okay, now it's getting stupid. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed the Q&A. I had a great time as always. Hope you guys enjoyed the Q&A just as much as I did. Appreciate the donations and the super chats. Keeps the streams alive and the channel alive. But I gotta go now. Take care, have a great weekend, and I'll see you next time.